What's up, y'all? What's going on? Good morning. It's still morning time. It's still morning time. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Uh-oh. Now I am multitasking. When I say I'm multitasking. Damn. All right. Thank you, Natty. Y'all can hear me. All right, y'all. Well, y'all know what we here for. Um, we are here to go over the Diddy trial. Now, I thought about it and I said it probably wasn't smart to start this live right now because they are getting ready to go to lunch. So we're gonna catch up, and then I am still gonna have to take like a brief lunch, but it won't be a long one for sure. Uh-oh, hold on one second. Let me see. This is incorrect. All right, welcome y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Let's see. Why won't it let me sign in, honey? Here we go. All right, so we're gonna catch up using CNN, and then because Don is now off of the stand. Don is off of the stand. Happy birthday, Aunt Natty. Happy birthday, happy birthday. It is your birthday. You did say it was on Monday, huh? You did say that. You did. You did. You did. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. I hope you have one of the most amazing days ever. I really do. Happy birthday. All right, let's see here. Do we have the updates? Here we go. All right. Yeah, so I'm probably not going to be able to be live all day today. Tomorrow will be a different story. So we're probably gonna break this up. I'll do this now, and then we'll come back later, and we'll break it up. I was also listening to attorney Simone Redwine as well. So we're just gonna go over some things and get up to speed. What's up, Brittany Janae? What's up, Mama V? Baby Peaches? What's going on? All right, so let's go ahead and get into the things. Let's get to this morning. And then I'm going to share my screen. Y'all, from what I heard, Don was over there, the girl. They kind of cooked Don up on the stand a little bit, y'all. I'm a little concerned for Don. Don got cooked a little bit on the stand. Just based off of what I heard, Don was cooked, baby. Okay, so let's go ahead and catch up. So this morning it says that they were running late because one of the jurors was running late this morning, so they were running late. Of course, they had a briefing this morning before they got into everything, so we're just gonna make sure we get into it. Okay, so the jury did enter, and Don is back on the stand. Don Richardson, a former member of Danny Diddy Kane, a musical group formed by Sean Diddy Combs as a part of MTV reality series Making the Band, is back on the stand ready to resume testimony that she started last week. The jury is entering the courtroom, and Assistant U.S. Attorney Mitzi Steiner will question Richard for the prosecution. All right. So Dawn Richard testified that after the 2009 incident in which she said that she saw Sean Diddy Combs attack Cassie Ventura with the skillet, she frequently saw Combs being violent towards Ventura. He would punch her, choke her, drag her, slap her in the mouth, Richard said. I saw him kick her, punch her in the stomach. Lord Jesus. She said that the violence was prompted, by various reasons. It could be Cass speaking up for herself. It could be random. We didn't even know where it came from, Richard said. And then, of course, they put the DV hotline on the screen as well. If you're just coming in, y'all, we're just getting caught up because, of course, I told you guys that I would be running late. Today would be a different day than the rest of the week. Okay, rest of the week I'm gonna be working at the same time doing this, but I'll be working. Stay tuned. All right, Don Richard. I'll keep wanting to call her Don Richardson. I always have. Don Richard said that she saw Cassie Ventura at different times with injuries on her face, arms, and legs after Sean Diddy Combs was violent toward his former girlfriend. Ventura attempted to cover up the injuries with clothing, makeup, and sunglasses, Richard said. Some members of Combs' security staff also witnessed Combs being violent towards Ventura. Richard testified. They wouldn't react. They wouldn't do anything, she said. Now, I do want to make this very clear, and I'm assuming it's probably going to get there. She is naming names. Don was naming names. But what the defense is pretty much doing is saying that based on the interviews that she had with the government and the prosecution, she's kind of changing up her story. That's what the defense is honing in on. Now, Don is no longer on the stand. Now the former best friend is the one who's on the stand. Good morning. No, you just on time, honey. We just started. Hey, hey, Kitty. I'm just calling you Kitty. What's going on, Sean? What's going on, Precious Jewel? How y'all doing? I know y'all probably listening in the background. Okay, so let's get into this. So it says Don Richard is testifying about a time in 2009 that she was at Sean Diddy Combs' home in New York with Cassie Ventura and Kalina Harper. Combs, Richard, and Harper were in the musical trio Dirty Money. All right. Combs and Ventura got into an argument, and then he punched her in the face, Richard testified. Richard said that Ventura went into the bathroom crying while Combs walked off angry. Richard said that Ventura's eye was swollen, so she put on makeup and wore sunglasses to try to hide the injury. The jury saw a photo of the three of the women wearing sunglasses in public after the alleged A-word. Richard said that she and Harper also wore sunglasses in solidarity to be a friend, to be a support system for someone who needed it. So on the stand, they were asking her, why did you also wear the shades too? Did you wear the shades too because something may have happened to you? No, I wore them because of solidarity. I want her to know that I'm here for her. That's basically what that was about. All right, let's keep going. All right, so Don Richard testified about another occasion in which she says that she saw Sean Diddy Combs punch Cassie Ventura, this time in the stomach while at a restaurant. Girl. Y'all, does this not sound like some kind of movie or TV to y'all? Like, does this not give y'all power? Does this not give y'all a mix of Power, Star, Empire? It's like all this really be real in real life actually happening, and you're like, this stuff is real. What's going on, Sean? How you doing? What's going on, IPV, Miss LaQuanda? How are y'all? Thank y'all for being here. Y'all, please smash that like button. It'll help your boy get in the Diddy algorithm. All right? Please smash that like button. It's appreciated. But yeah, y'all let me know. I don't know. To me, it seems that way, but it could just be me. All right. So several people from the record label were present in the room at a dinner, and Combs and Ventura had been arguing quietly. Richard said that after Ventura bent over reacting to the punch, Combs directed her to leave, Richard said. After leaving the restaurant, Richard testified, Combs and Ventura were arguing in the car. Ventura was embarrassed and told Combs that he shouldn't have done that in public, Richard said. After grabbing her by the neck and popping her and popped her, slapped her in the mouth, and told her to shut up. Well, she said on the stand, "Shut the F up," is what it was saying. She testified. Security personnel who were present in the car didn't do anything, and the rest of the car ride was quiet. Richard testified. Richard later testified in cross-examination that R&B singers Usher, Neo, and Beats Electronics co-founder Jimmy Lovin were among the celebrities who were at the restaurant that day. Now, child, I told y'all, she came in on the court. She came in today. She came in today naming names. Okay, she said we won't be playing these games on today. We're gonna be naming names, and that's exactly what she did. Listen, there's 34 people in here, and there's only 14 likes, so that means that there is over 20 people who haven't hit the like button. I don't think you would be here if you don't like me, because there are so many people that are live covering this. So I would definitely need as many likes as I have views. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right. So Richard testified that she heard Sean Diddy Combs discussing Ventura's career with her. During those conversations, Combs would sometimes turn violent towards Ventura, but he'd usually say that Ventura's career would progress on his timeline. Richard testified. It would be on his time. It was coming, but when he said, Richard said, "I own you. When I'm ready for you, you'll do," Richard said. And it was always wait for her. She had to wait her turn. Ooh, child. I believe it. I do believe that. I do believe that. Now, again, I'm going to get into why the Don was cooked on the stand. I'm going to get into it. But for me, I can understand that, and I actually believe that. Hey Terry, what's going on? Hey Mama Bees, hey y'all, what's going on? Thank y'all for being here. Listen, mods, I know y'all are probably listening and working at the same time, but if you can please encourage people to hit the like button. It is a great way of getting us up in the algorithm. Like right now, we have 18 likes and 42 people watching me. I just find it hard that y'all will watch me if you don't like me when there's so many people live. Hit the like button. It won't hurt you. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right. So Don Richard, a former member of the musical group Diddy Kane, a musical group formed by Sean Diddy Combs, said that after she witnessed Combs' violent behavior, she told Cassie and Tara she should leave. Cass looked torn, like she would listen, but I could see the fear. Richard started to say before being cut off by the defense objection, which was sustained by the judge. Richard testified that when Combs found out about these conversations, he told her to stay out of their relationship. He told her that you're here to work. He would also tell her to stop or else we would pay for it, she said. Richard said that she made a decision to stay out of the relationship between Combs and Ventura for her safety. I made a decision that it will be best for my safety, for the safety of myself, to not interfere, because I don't think that she was really ready to do anything, she said. Sometimes people don't be ready. And it's so unfortunate, right? It's so unfortunate, but sometimes people just don't be ready. Don Richard testified that she often saw Sean Diddy Combs taking drugs, including the Mary Jane, ketamine, and the cocaine. She didn't see him take the opioids. She testified. The drugs were delivered to the studio by a man that she said was called One Stop. Y'all, side note, while I was doing what I was doing earlier, I was reading tweets and I saw that somebody had tweeted, "Who in the hell is One Stop?" And they was like, Baby, you know who One Stop is. One Stop is definitely that definitely sounds like a rugs person's name. Like, let's just be for real. Let's be for real. That sounds just like a rug dealer's name. One Stop. One stop for all. Everything you need, you can get it right here. One stop. Anyway, I thought that was funny. But and Combs kept rugs and a Louis Vuitton toiletry bag that went everywhere for domestic to overseas, she said. Now that's crazy. But remember, the the agent had testified, the Homeland Security agent testified last week that Diddy had them rugs in pill bottles and different names. Remember that? And also that pink powder substance. That was found too. All right. Um, Richard also saw Combs frequently carrying a pow pow. She testified he typically placed the pow pow on his lower back. She said two of his bodyguards also carried pow pows in the same place. She testified later Monday on cross examination. Richard testified that she had seen Combs' assistant giving money to One Stop in exchange for rugs. Now, y'all, do y'all understand what that's saying? So what people are saying is right. They have not proven RICO. I've watched a couple of attorneys in this, and a couple of attorneys have pretty much all said the same thing. Of course, they have to prove two things out of the five things to prove RICO. Well, so far what they're saying is that there's already a enterprise. Is already an enterprise that exists. An enterprise can consist of, hold on one second, let me grab my notes, honey. Let me grab my notes, girl. All right, let's see here. Let me get to my notes. Okay, so an enterprise can consist of and it has to be in existence, and you have to be moving some things in this enterprise for it to be considered part of a RICO. A small business like a record label, an LLC, a storefront, anything that you do that is considered an enterprise. It could be a formal, informal groups such as like a street gang, a crew, or a network of people with a shared goal. Okay, so in this particular case, they're saying that okay, the RICO part of the RICO has already been proven because you can already, I mean, you can already establish that there has been an enterprise established based off of Sean Diddy Combs. All these businesses, and keep in mind, y'all, within the indictment, these same people, I mean, these enterprises, these lawsuits, when these lawsuits went out, they didn't just sue Sean Diddy Combs by himself. They also sued businesses, LLCs, enterprises. There you have it. I know it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I may need a glass. Period, baby. Period. Baby. That's what we're gonna do with you. Bet I don't. All right. So again, this is where they get into the rugs and doing all of the things. So Richard also saw Combs frequently carrying a. Oh, I already read that. Later Monday. Okay. In exchange for rugs, defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland pointed out to a previous meeting that Richard had with the prosecution, in which Moreland said that Richard said that she had never seen anyone give payment to One Stop. All right. So Don's direct testimony is over. And then here is where we get into the thing. So they sketched this. I think they got pictures of what Don actually have on in court, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go down here. Here's what Don looks like today. This is what she's wearing today. Okay, y'all see Don? Y'all see what Don is wearing? Hey, Faith. Hey, Ham Sandwich. Y'all see what Don is wearing? All right. Scroll back up here and let's get into it. Richard testified that she didn't immediately talk about the alleged abuse that she witnessed because Sean Diddy Combs and Harvey Pierre, the former president of Bad Boys Records, told her not to. When asked what made her speak out, Richard pointed to Cassie Ventura. I saw Cassie finally take a stand and tell the truth, Richard replied. The judge sustained a defense objection in her response. Richard said that she left Bad Boys Records in 2011 and would periodically hear from Combs anytime her career got momentum. If she didn't pick up the FaceTime call, other people in Combs' circle would call her repeatedly until she picked up, she said. The former Diddy Kane member also filed a civil lawsuit against Combs, which is still pending. Now, we about to go over something that I thought was very interesting in this. Very, very interesting. So we're going to keep going, honey. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, if you'd like to bless the platform, if you like this type of, carrying on, you can definitely bless the platform. It's greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, to my Patreons, y'all, we do have a new video dropping at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time today. So make sure you guys are in Patreon and make sure you guys click interested in the live drop. All right, let's keep going. All right, Don Richard has I don't think, okay, that's, anyway, we don't got to read that one. That's kind of like a summary. All right, here we go. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland is going over a portion of Don Richard's testimony from Friday in which she said that she witnessed Sean Diddy Combs attack Cassie Ventura when she was cooking him eggs in the kitchen of his California home in 2009. Westmoreland has suggested that Richard's account of the incident has changed over time. This is why I said, y'all, the defense went in, they listened to her, they didn't give her time. Of course, I mean, this is the perfect defense, right? If we're talking about a perfect defense is not about to allow you to elaborate on anything. They're just about to let you say what you need to say, and they're going to run with that. That's just what they're doing. They got to, you know what I'm saying? So, Dawn, in my opinion, some things probably did change. I can't remember her lawsuit verbatim because I think when her lawsuit came out, I think people was probably sick of this stuff. I did say I needed to go back and look at it compared to what she's saying now. Now, I know that she said this on the stand on Friday that she saw it, but then according to the testimony, it sounds like she says that she may have been like in the next room or something of that sort. She didn't actually see it per se. It's basically what the defense is trying to get her to pretty much say. On Friday, Richard testified that she saw Combs attempting to strike Ventura with the skillet, but Ventura ducked and fell to the floor into fetal position. In a demand letter to Combs in 2024, Richard's lawyers asserted that she heard the frying pan hit the wall. So again, the defense is saying you didn't technically see this, but didn't witness the altercation. Richard said that she wasn't aware of what claims her lawyer made on her behalf. See, that's another thing right there. So here's my thing though, Don. Here's my thing. Here's what I want to say. I don't know how you don't remember that. That wouldn't change. I'm just saying, if my homegirl was cooking some eggs, if she were frying some eggs down to the pan, okay? I'm talking about frying them and they look real pretty. Mama Bees, you remember them eggs? No, I'm just playing. But the eggs is frying down real pretty and things like that. So you mean to tell me you're not gonna really recall that story and that it would change up, that you wouldn't remember if your homegirl got hit or something like that? Now I could see if you maybe looked away or something like that, but basically what the defense is trying to say, that you weren't really there, you didn't really see it, and they trying to make it seem like you heard it, like you weren't there to witness it. Is anybody catching my drift? Anybody catching my? I knew that would make you laugh. All right, let's keep going. In October of 2024, in an October 2024 interview, Richard told prosecutors that Combs actually struck Ventura with the frying pan, Westmoreland said, citing government notes from the interview. In another interview with prosecutors, Richard said that Combs threw the eggs at Ventura, not using the pan. On the stand today, Richard said that she recounted the incident over time to the best of her memory. I'm sorry, y'all, and I don't know what has happened to Don. Where she. Okay, I'm not here to blame Don for not remembering. All I'm saying though is that's one thing that I'm gonna remember. Like, if I'm doing things in solidarity to my friend that I see over here, or maybe not them, maybe not have been best of friends, but if I see somebody over here getting hurt, or if I see somebody going through this over here, I don't know, I'm not gonna forget that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't forget stuff like that. I probably will be able to recount how that actually went. Right? She got to be consistent, Kitty, because again, the defense is eating this up. They eating that up. All right, let's keep going. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland is challenging part of Don Richards' testimony about what Richard saw Sean Diddy Combs told her the day after a 2009 altercation in which she said Combs tried to hit Cassie Ventura with the skillet in the kitchen. See, I told y'all what the defense was painting. Richard testified last week that the day after the skillet incident, Combs brought her and artist Kalina Harper into the studio, locked the door, and told them it was in their best interest not to say anything about the incident, and that we're here. Well, sorry. That where he comes from, people go missing. Westmoreland referenced documents from several of Richard's meetings with prosecutors that didn't include Combs saying that people go missing. Richard answered that she didn't recall not telling prosecutors that part and maintained that Combs said it. The first time that you mentioned and alleged that Mr. Combs told you that people go missing was like a week ago on May the 10th of 2025, right? Westmoreland asked. No, Richard responded. Westmoreland then brought up another incident that was included in Richard's civil complaint that alleges that Combs pulled Ventura out of the car, which she later told prosecutors didn't happen. Richard testified that was a misquote from a lawyer and confirmed that she told prosecutors it didn't happen. Don. That's it. You got to be consistent, sis. You got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. So now, absolutely, they're discrediting her, which the defense was doing the whole time. They didn't even have to ask them follow-up questions. They didn't have to go nowhere with it. What they were asking, you pretty much changed up your story on the stand according to them, based off of the interviews that you had with the prosecutors. I don't know. Okay, Richard. Now, during Richard's cross-examination, defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland asked Don Richard to talk about the times that she saw Sean Diddy Combs with the pow pow. Richard had said earlier this morning that she saw Combs frequently carrying a pow pow. On cross-examination, Richard said that she saw him with a pow pow a few times. She said that she saw him with a pow pow at a New York studio on a couple of occasions and in a club. When asked, Richard confirmed that she never saw Combs pull a pow pow out or load it with pum pums. Richard said, see y'all, let me just tell y'all why you are going to hear YouTubers use certain verbiage, because there was a period in time where when you talked about Diddy, your when you talked about Diddy, your videos weren't getting full monetization. So what a lot of people are doing now to keep it safe and to keep their monetization is they are abbreviating words. Every now and then, some may slip up, but for the most part, so that you don't get any type of strikes or warnings or anything of that sort. That's why you hear people saying this. So you're gonna hear me abbreviate pow pows and all that stuff. Okay, so I just wanted to explain that to you. All right, let's keep going. She just said in earlier. I'm sorry. In her earlier testimony this morning, she said that he typically have a pow pow in his lower back. All right. Richard tells defense that she is remembering more details. Defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland questioned Don Richard about her testimony regarding Sean Diddy Combs' rug use. Westmoreland said that Richard previously told prosecutors that she never saw Combs use any cocaine and noted that she said that Combs used drugs during Monday's testimony. You would agree with me that as time progresses, your story changes, Westmoreland said. Yes, Richard replied, adding that as time has progressed, that she remembered more because it was so long ago. Lord have mercy. On cross-examination, Don Richard acknowledged that after partying with Bad Boys Records and Sean Diddy Combs in 2011, she reached back out to him on several occasions. She said that she contacted him to ask him to work together again, and she has reached out recently as 2020 to collaborate with Combs, she said. Before she left the label in 2011, Richard asked Combs to sign her as a solo artist, but he declined, she testified. Richard was a member of Diddy Kane, the musical group formed by Combs as a part of the MTV series Making the Band. Cross-examination of Don Richard is complete, and defense attorney... Okay, they completed it. All right. Don Richard confirmed that the musical groups that she was a part of, Diddy Kane and Diddy Dirty Money, both went platinum. She testified that she felt saddened by Sean Diddy Combs deciding to dismantle both of those groups, and confirmed that the music she released since hasn't reached the same level of success. Diddy Kane was formed by... Okay, we don't got to keep going over that, and y'all know who was in the group. You felt like Combs ruined your career not once but twice, defense attorney Nicole Westmoreland asked. Yes, Richard testified. Westmoreland asked Richard to admit that she filed a lawsuit against Combs to get a lot of money. Richard said no, but she said that she wants to be compensated for the work that she put forth. All right. Assistant U.S. Attorney Mitzi is now doing a redirect, or is now doing a redirect, an opportunity to re-question Don Richard after the defense cross-examined her. Now, y'all, this part was extremely interesting. I heard this, so child. I agree with that, IPV, but you know, you have to be careful when you're trying to prove these things. Oh, see, she's looking for a mistrial. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah. I need her to really give. Like I need her to give. She's not giving. But she's no longer understand. But as of right now, we're just catching up. Everybody, thank y'all for being here. Hit that like button. It's a free way of supporting the platform. And if you'd like to bless the platform, you guys know how to do so. All right, let's see. Okay, where was I? Richard confirmed on redirect that her first meeting with prosecutors was more than a decade after the alleged incidents that she's recounted. including the 2009 incident in which she said that Sean Diddy Combs tried to hit Cassie Ventura with his skillet in the kitchen. In every meeting with prosecutors, she told them Combs had threatened her and that he had hit Ventura. Richard said. If I say Richardson, I promise I'm still talking about Don, y'all. I promise. I don't. I always feel like Richard, and I get it. I feel like Richard is the first name, and Richard, when you hear it as a last name, you want to end it with Richardson. So that's why I keep doing that. That's why I keep doing that. Ideally, the defense approach is to to discredit the witness, or how the case was handled by the prosecution. Absolutely, and the defense is doing their good one. They're doing their job. They did their job with Don. Uh, they did their job with Don. During the decade between the alleged incidents and her first meeting with prosecutors, she tried not to think about her employment. She said Richard has said that she worked for Combs from 2004 to 2011. The environment was volatile. The environment was volatile, and it was very hard to work in. Hold on, y'all. Uh-oh. Okay. Um. Okay. The environment was volatile and it was very hard to work in, so I tried to erase those things, Richard testified. Every day it gets easier to remember certain things. I try my best to do it to the best of my ability, she said. On redirect examination from the prosecution, Don Richard testified that she did reach out to Sean Diddy Combs after severing ties with Combs and Bad Boys Records to get her forming singing trio back together, Dirty Money back together. But Richard testified that she did it to help the trio member, Kalina Harper, not because she had any desire to work with Combs again. Combs formed the Dirty Money trio, Combs, Richard, and Harper in 2009. That group disbanded in 2012. When she asked Monday, Richard said, when asked on Monday, Richard said that she didn't want to work with Combs again because it wasn't good. I didn't want it, but I was trying to help a friend, Richard said. Interesting. All right. Don Richard, the former member of Diddy Kane, okay, wrapped up her testimony. All right. So that's not, what's the name? All right. So that was all that they had for her. So now, that's what I was thinking that they didn't prepare her. That's what it sounds like to me. Is Mother Combs getting on the stand for the defense, maybe? Oh, that's a good question. She better sit her ass down somewhere else. All right. Cassie Ventura, former longtime friend Kerry Morgan. Kerry Morgan is now on the stand. Has been called to the stand. Morgan is the sixth witness to testify. Earlier, the judge ruled that Morgan could testify that Ventura told her that she was scared of Sean Diddy Combs and told her that she couldn't break up with him because he controlled her career. Kerry Morgan said that she was best friends with Cassie Ventura between 2001 and 2018, but they currently don't speak. She said that they stopped being friends in 2018 because her boyfriend A-worded me, specifically, specifying that the boyfriend was Sean Diddy Combs. She said that he was wearing yellow in the courtroom. She pointed at him. Morgan said that she's testifying because she was subpoenaed, but she doesn't want to be here. When asked why she didn't want to testify, Morgan said, "I have moved on with my life, away from all these people and these problems." Okay. Okay. Kerry Morgan said that she first met Cassie Ventura on a modeling shoot when she was 16 and Ventura was 15 around 2001. They start Oh wow. They started living together in 2004 in Manhattan in New York City. In the first few years of their friendship, Ventura didn't drink much alcohol and didn't use any drugs, Morgan testified. Morgan, now 39, currently works as a personal assistant in California. Hold on, y'all. I got to go back down. All right. Kerry Morgan said that she traveled with Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura to several U.S. cities and told in other countries like Spain and Italy, getting to know the music mogul very well. They would all take drugs, usually provided by Combs, Morgan said. Combs was very nice and extremely generous, but also sort of intimidating and had a strong presence, Morgan said. As she got to know him, Morgan testified that she learned that Combs had mood swings and that he would get aggressive and upset, often yelling at Ventura, she said. Kerry Morgan testified that she saw Sean Diddy Combs A-word Cassie Ventura on 2 occasions, adding that Combs hit Ventura, pulled her hair, kicked her, and pushed her. Morgan testified that Combs was not intoxicated or high on drugs during these times. In one of the occasions, Morgan said that she was at Combs' Los Angeles home with Combs and Ventura and one of Combs' security guards. "I saw him push her. I'm pretty sure he hit her," Morgan said. "They were on the other side of the bed, so I'm not sure if he kicked her or something." Bottom line, he was doing something to her. She said that Ventura didn't do anything in response. Morgan said that she asked one of Combs' security guards to intervene, but he responded that he wasn't going to do anything. Kerry Morgan testified that Cassie Ventura was very confident when they first met, but then she lost her confidence over the course of their friendship from the early 2000s to 2018. Ventura and Sean Diddy Combs dated from 2007 to 18, according to previous testimony. Morgan heard Combs criticize Ventura's appearance, how she behaved, and who she talked to, Morgan testified. Combs would call Ventura repeatedly until she answered, Morgan said. Sometimes he called 50 times in a row, Morgan testified. There were also times that Combs or his employees would contact Morgan to get in contact with Ventura, Morgan said. Okay. All right. The second time that Kerry Morgan said that she saw Sean Diddy Combs A-word Cassie Ventura was in Jamaica around 2013. Combs left the room after telling Morgan that Ventura was taking too long in the bathroom, she said. "I heard Cassie screaming, so I ran into the hallway where she was," Morgan said, describing the screams as guttural. Morgan said that she saw Combs dragging Ventura by her hair down the hallway for about 10 feet before she ran to go get her purse. When she came back, they were outside, Morgan said. When Morgan went outside, she saw how Ventura hit her head after Combs pushed her on the ground. Jesus. She testified. Ventura then stated, Ventura then stayed in a loose fetal position with her eyes closed, Morgan said. "I thought she was knocked out," she testified. Ventura ran barefoot into a wooded area when Morgan says that she was yelling at Combs. Oh my God. She and Combs went to look for Ventura separately, Morgan testified. After Morgan found Ventura, the friends hid in a ditch for what felt like hours before eventually going back to the house, she testified. Ventura had a really big bump on her forehead from the incident, Morgan testified. Kerry Morgan said that she saw Sean Diddy Combs, A-word Cassie Ventura other times, but the two incidents that she testified about, one in Jamaica and one time in Los Angeles, all were ones that she remembered best. She said that she witnessed Ventura fight back against Combs, but she never saw any injuries on Combs. Kerry Morgan, y'all please hit that like button for me, please. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I agree with you, IPV. I agree with you. They sure need to. Oh, baby, if they call Mary and Faith, and if they call really any of them people, it's a wrap. And Kim, you talking about Kim K? Is that what you talking about? Baby, they say Diddy want Kim K to get him off. Is that what you talking about? Cause we can't be talking about the other Kim, cause she no longer with us. Is there another Kim I don't know about? Maybe there's another Kim. Look, Kim. Oh, got you. Look, Kim. Hey, Sharp. Look, Kim. Okay, got you. I was about to say, what Kim? Kim K? Cause I don't know the Kim. My bad. Kerry Morgan is now addressing the aftermath of the March 2016 incident in which surveillance cameras captured Sean Diddy Combs dragging and kicking Ventura. Morgan recalled the day that Ventura came home to her apartment after the incident. Morgan had been staying with her ahead of the movie premiere. Ventura had a black eye, Morgan said. About 30 minutes after Ventura came home, Combs arrived yelling and banging on the door with a hammer, Morgan testified. Morgan was freaking out, and she called Combs' security guard and assistant, hoping that they'd get him to stop, she testified. Ventura just sat on the couch, Morgan recalled, unmoved. I don't think she cared if he came in and unalived her, Morgan said. That's sad. Eventually, and this is coming from somebody who don't even fool with her no more. Eventually, Combs left, never gaining access to the apartment, Morgan testified. Police arrived at some point after that, but Morgan can't remember who called them, she said. Ventura wouldn't cooperate with the officers, and they left after Ventura refused to identify herself and speak to them, Morgan said. The jury saw messages Kerry Morgan and Christina, one of Sean Diddy Combs' assistant, exchanged after the police came following the incident at the Intercontinental in March of 2016. Morgan sent Christina a photo of the detective's business card and wrote that the officer was looking for anyone to say the wrong thing so she can call DV abuse. The messages were read aloud in court. Cash just asked me to send you that, Morgan said in the messages. Morgan testified that she encouraged Cassie Ventura to speak with the police that day. She said that she never called law enforcement when Combs was violent because Ventura didn't want her to. Okay, so we're almost done here. All right. Kerry Morgan testified that Sean Combs A-worded her in Cassie Ventura's apartment in 2018. Combs let herself into the apartment while Ventura was in the bathroom, Morgan said. He came up behind me and choked me and then boomeranged a wooden hanger at my head, Morgan testified. Ooh, Jesus. Adding that she had finger marks on her neck. Morgan said that she gathered her belongings and left, telling an assistant that he's going crazy like he's lost it. The assistant just shrugged, she said. I don't think he knew what he could do about it, Morgan said of the assistant. Morgan testified that she was planning on filling out a lawsuit after the 2018 A-word, but did it. She said that she met up with Ventura about a month after the incident, and Ventura told her that she would be receiving $30,000 from Combs. Morgan said that she signed a non-disclosure agreement that day and testified that she hasn't spoken with Ventura since. She testified that she received the money. So y'all really didn't have like a falling out. You just stopped fooling with her because she was still fooling with Diddy, and Diddy is the one who gave you the 30,000. But would the non-disclosure agreement not say that she couldn't have any contact with Cassie? Yes, I agree. One thing I've been saying about this from the beginning, I really want them to say the names, honey. Um, so that's what I'm believing. I'm believing that the non-disclosure agreement must say that she couldn't no longer talk to Cassie anymore. So therefore, okay, they didn't have like a falling out, like a. I'm thinking that all these many years they had like a drag out fallout. But now it makes sense. All the niggas round, and none of them stepped in. No, they were scared because IPV, they were getting that money. They was getting that shmoney. They weren't saying nothing. All right. So let's see here. The jury goes to lunch, and this is the last thing that we can read. Kerry Morgan said that Cassie Ventura told her that she couldn't leave Sean Diddy Combs because he controlled everything. The friends would often talk about Ventura's relationship with Combs, and Morgan said that she would tell her to do what she wanted to do, also advised her to leave Combs. But Ventura would, she said, couldn't, wait a minute. But Ventura Wood said she couldn't do it, Morgan testified. When the prosecution asked why Ventura would say that, Morgan said that it was because of her job, her car, her apartment. He controlled everything. She would have lost all of her livelihood. Aside from her, Morgan said that most of her friends were employed by or associated with Combs, and she could see their influence on Ventura. After Ventura would hang out with them, she wouldn't want to leave Combs, Morgan said. You could tell that they were convincing her, she testified. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Um, they're absolutely complicit. The money was coming in. The money was a thing. It was a fast paced little. Let's get this how we can get it. Let's get it how we can get it, and that's what it is. But I do totally agree that all of these people who knew about these things didn't say anything, didn't do anything, sat around, shrugged your shoulders. I don't care if you even knew a hint of what was going on. You're complicit. For me, I don't. I mean, come on now. Let's just be for real, right? Let's just be for real. All of these people who were surrounding this, something happened while they saw something. And all these many years, y'all have been so quiet. Trash from the gutter. Y'all have been quiet all these many years. Shame on every last one of y'all. And I say that even if some of them are my faves. Some of these artists that have seen stuff, that have witnessed stuff, y'all ain't no good. If you know, you've witnessed and you've seen it and you haven't said anything. I can't respect you, dog. I cannot. I can't. I love your music down to the ground. Hello. A lot of people like R. Kelly music, but listen, when you did what you did, look what it caused. You see what I'm saying? Like you could be all of the things. You can be talented, you could be smart, you could be all of the things, but because you know these things and you don't say anything, I don't have no respect for it. Will Gene Deal testify? I don't know. Somebody said no because he been talking too much. Now again, I don't know how true that is, but I heard somebody say no because he been talking too much. Um, and y'all recently, well, I don't know if it's just been recently, but um, what I do know is, um, what I do know is that Lord have mercy, Roger Bond, Roger Bond have been out here doing a whole lot of interviews, y'all. Some of them old interviews coming back up too. Child, I'm telling you, this is a thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end it here. We're gonna come back later on this afternoon. Y'all gotta get some stuff done. Today is just a bit different from what I anticipated on today being. However, what we're gonna do, we're gonna end this piece right here. We're gonna come back with a part two this afternoon. Probably, I'm gonna say around 3ish, which is for their time, which then gives me time to read up on what we've missed, and then we can um, we can tune into the respectful people who have been in the courtrooms, like Mims. I know Mims. There's a lot of people there in the courtroom, so I would love to hear their responses. These people are terrible. You know what? I really have no um I have no words for some of the stuff that I feel when it comes to these people. Like, I really am like, I don't know. It sucks. Y'all knew what was going on. You were there. You witnessed it. Y'all didn't say nothing. And for those of you, some of y'all didn't say anything because you right there was doing the same thing. I mean, you was right there doing this stuff too. So that's why you won't say nothing. You won't get caught up. Huh? Anyway, y'all. Listen. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Um, yeah, they do need to be held accountable. I do agree. I do agree. And like I said, regardless of it's some of my phrase, I love Mary down. I ain't saying Mary is guilty of anything, but I'm just saying if you knew things happened to you, y'all are complicit in this. And even though let's just say that Mary may not, and I'm just using Mary for an example. Let's just say Mary don't have anything to do with what he did to Cassie. Well, what did he do to you? See, y'all let this man be a monster for all these many years, and y'all didn't say a mumbling word. And I get it. I get it. A lot of them were scared. I can see that being the case. We are talking about one of the most powerful men in music. Like, let's just be for real. But I mean, when people start coming out and saying stuff, it's like, y'all, I mean, they got to pull a tooth in the nail to even get you to respond to something. And half of y'all don't, you still ain't saying nothing. So I don't know. I agree. I agree. I do agree. I agree. Well, listen, y'all. I will see you guys. It's about noon here. I will see you guys about 3 o'clock. You'll see the link available. And because I have already been live once, you may not get a notification, but set your notification so you don't miss. That scar on her face is a direct result of an attack. Yes, absolutely. And signing an NDA does not cover any illegal activity. That's true, Lady D. It's not enough money in the world. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. All these other people suffering. We were talking about Mary J. Blige. I was just using her as an example. So if anybody hear this playback, I was using her as an example. I'm not saying she's guilty of nothing. All right. All right, y'all. I will check you guys back at 3 p.m. For those of you who are in Patreon, do me a huge favor and go to your most recent post and please hit interested on that post. Okay. I greatly appreciate y'all, and I'll